What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going over the 45th World Tournament news. So we don't actually have, because it's not live yet, we're going to be referring to like the JP portion of things here. So yeah, for the 45th World Tournament, that should be dropping in just a little bit. Actually, I think by the time this goes live on the channel, it's probably up. It's going up an hour and a half from when I'm recording this, so we'll see how quickly I can get this video out. But yes, we're getting 4 new EZAs. We're getting the Int Demon King Piccolo as the Dragon Ball Saga Summon Banner EZA, and then, and then the other 3 here are just from the, generic World Tournament SSR banner. So really quick, let's go ahead and take a look at the card details for all of these guys, just so that you guys know if it's going to be worth your while to, go ahead and ball out to get all the EZA medals to awaken these guys. Okay, so the Super Saiyan Goku here, already we're off to a bad start because of his name, right? One of the most overused names in the game. Probably, I think there's more Super Saiyan Gokus than anything else, so, yeah, that's already a huge L for this guy. Obviously, fodder leader skill. Okay, so we're getting 120% attack and defense at the start of turn. AGL, Int, and Tech types get 2 key and 30% attack and defense. This is kind of a common thing that we've been seeing with some of these, World Tournament EZAs. It's kind of random. They're doing like these multiple typings, but not every typing. A little bit weird. It works better for some cards than others, right? Okay, so plus an additional 50% attack when performing a super attack, and a medium chance of a crit if there is a tech type ally on the team. Okay, interesting. And then an additional attack 50% when performing a super attack, and medium chance of evading if there's an AGL ally. Interesting. So if you have a tech and AGL ally, and you only need to have them on the team, not on the same turn as them, just on the team, which is pretty easy to do, right? Because there's no RNG required. You just have to make sure to build your team this way so that you can get these passives active. And that could actually be pretty decent. So he's getting 100% attack on super, plus a medium chance to crit and a medium chance to dodge. And he's giving 30% support. Like, this isn't a bad floater unit. I could see him being useful for, like, a burst mode or something like that. Okay, so a super attack effect raises attack and defense for 6 turns. Yeah, okay, definitely good for a burst mode, right? Because those tend to be longer form events, right? Because you're kind of forced to use low team costs, which means you're using a lot of, like, banner units and not, like, the hardest hitting Dokkan fests and stuff. And usually it takes a pretty long time to get through those events. So you'll definitely see the full benefits of all these stat raises here. Coming down here, looking at this guy, he's got a lot of the typical Goku categories. Actually, because is this guy from he's from the Android Cell Saga. Okay, so because of that, this being like this armor suit Goku, he actually gets rapid growth and like heavenly events. So yeah, this guy has some interesting categories. I definitely could see him being pulled into like a burst mode or something. With some of these random categories that he's got on here. I'm sure he'll end up being useful for like a chain battle or something like that in the future too. Well, though maybe not, because there's so many Super Saiyan Gokus that if this ends up being a type effective character, there's probably plenty of other Super Saiyan Gokus you're going to choose over this guy. But yeah, so okay, this guy's kind of mid-ish. He's not the worst. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one for now. Okay, so we've got the Gohan teen here. From what I heard when this batch came out on JP, this is the worst of the bunch. But let's go ahead and take a look for ourselves. So another fodder leader skill there. And then we've got key 3, 158% stats at the start of turn, an additional 58% stats when facing 2 or more enemies. Okay. And then high chance of launching an additional super when facing 3 or more enemies. And then we get an additional attack 50%, attack 10% up to 50, and defense 20% up to 100 with each super attack performed. Okay, I can see why we would say this guy is the worst for sure, right? He's gaining a very little amount of stats here. I guess the defense is nice, but 5 super attacks, and he doesn't have... I mean, he's only getting the high chance of launching an additional with 3 or more enemies. So basically, this is just a Super Battle Road character, because it's not often that you're going to find a 3 or more enemy battle in like a red zone or something like that. I'm sure for one or two of the red zone stages, you maybe could, I'm thinking like Bojack where you have, oh no, actually that's the Bojack Dokkan event that I was thinking for burst mode. But that's a good example, right? Where you had to face off against the entire like Bojack squad at the beginning. So this could help you get some of those additionals to help raise your defense up. And then when you're going into like the later stages against the full power Bojack and stuff, then you'll have all this defense built up already and you'll be good to go. But the fact that he has this high chance of stunning on his super attack effect, just points. It's a huge call out to use him in Super Battle Road. That's what you want. Put full additionals on this guy. Go Super Battle Road. Highest chance of stunning. Get all this defense built up and stuff. But the problem is that he has to build up these stats, which is horrible for Super Battle Road because each new fight that you go into, you have to reset all of these, right? So yeah, I just don't see this guy being good enough, honestly. Let's see, coming down here to his teams. Oh, I kind of skipped over his links. I apologize. All in the Family is a decent link. Cold Judgment's a decent link. He does have some pretty powerful defensive links, now that I think about it. I suppose if you had these active, he wouldn't be looking the worst. I mean, his link partners... yeah, that's where it kind of suffers, right? There's no, like, S-tier units here. So this is kind of bad, honestly. Hybrid Saiyans definitely needs like some revamps at this point. They couldn't go like 3 years if like every single celebration there was a buff to Hybrid Saiyans, and then ever since they stopped, they just have fully stopped, and we haven't gotten boosts for this category in a very long time. So definitely needs some updates. But he is on some more niche categories here, like Siblings Bond and Trusted Will, Defenders of Justice, Saviors. So we could potentially see some use for this guy in some random events like Burst Mode and stuff. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have a Kaioken Goku here. So this is an interesting name. There aren't very many strong Kaioken Gokus in the game, actually, that I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure this is the best one. Oh, actually, there's going to be the Yellow Coin LR Kaioken Goku that's coming out. That's another potential one that could stomp on this guy. Okay, so Fodder Leader skill. We've got 2 key and 159% stats at the start of turn. He changes STR key spheres into Rainbow. That's very good. Plus an additional attack and defense 90% per rainbow key sphere obtained. And then a high chance of guarding all attacks with 3 or more rainbow key spheres. Okay, this guy's he has a chance to be good because of this. That's what it comes down to. This guy has a high chance to be good. Because if he doesn't get the proc on his guarding, then tough, right? So yeah, this is a little bit bummy. Characters that have like medium chance to guard, high chance to guard, even great chance to guard. It's just like, it's not the best because they haven't yet added the update that everybody wants, where you can identify whether the guard has procced at the beginning of the turn to know where to put the unit. Rather than just throwing them in slot 1 and then hoping for the best and having to wait until you get hit by that first attack to know whether the guard is active or not. So that definitely hurts this unit a lot. But okay, so you're probably nearly never going to get 5 rainbow key spheres. It's pretty much always going to be like 4 or 3 or 2. So you're probably looking at like 180, 270% attack and defense. I suppose, so what, like 360% attack and defense is what you could see, with 4 key spheres, so that could be good. I suppose he would look very good on a turn like that. And then obviously because he's getting all of this per rainbow key sphere obtained, you can put him in slot 1 because all of these stats are going to boost up as soon as you select his key spheres. It's kind of interesting. They do want you to use this guy in slot 1, it seems like. Okay, and then his super attack effect, he's greatly raising attack. So this guy is actually going to probably hit decently hard. And then medium chance of stun, which I guess is just a nice bonus. It's kind of random, doesn't really fit with the rest of the kit here, but could be good. So this guy also has All in the Family, which is a good defensive link here. Saiyan Lineage isn't the worst. Kamehameha, Shocking Speed, Over in a Flash, and then Shafting the Limit, unfortunately. So yeah, Over in a Flash is actually going to be bad. This is a Kaioken Goku thing, right? But we definitely would have wanted him to have like Prepared for Battle or something like that instead. Though it's fine. Modern units nowadays, unless they're like an LR, you really don't need them to have key links. It's pretty easy to get units to 12 key, especially because he's an orb changer himself, right? So it is better for him to have like the attack and defensive links that he's got here. And he actually has quite a few categories, so there are probably lots of places that you could see, you know, some decent use for this guy. Definitely not a horrible unit. Okay, and then bringing up the rear here, we have the Demon King Piccolo Elder. This guy, from what I know, is actually really, really good. So he's an all-types lead, only 70% stats, so that's, you know, obviously still fodder, but hey, for link leveling, when you're link leveling this guy, you can definitely use him as your leader. I intend to. Oh, actually, I think I've already got this guy link level 10, but for those of you that don't, that could be an interesting thing to point out. So he's got 2 key and 150% stats at the start of turn. All enemies attack and defense minus 30%, okay. Sworn enemies category allies are getting 40% attack. When the enemy is hit by the character's super attack, reduces damage received from that enemy by 30% for the duration of that turn. And then he's getting an additional 20% stats up to 100% with each attack received. So this is pretty good. You're not going to want to run this guy in slot 1 because of this part right here, right? So any enemy that you attack with a super attack, he gets the 30% damage reduction against. This is an amazing Super Battle Road character right here. You could throw him in 3rd slot, and then any sworn enemies are getting 40% attack. He's debuffing all of the enemies, and then he can get damage reduction against a specific enemy that you choose to attack, right? And then, you know, he's also just getting more and more stats with each time he gets hit. So that can be really, really good. So basically what I would strategize doing here with this guy, regardless of where you're choosing to run him. Let's say you're facing off against multiple enemies. I would say this guy is definitely going to be more advantageous against multiple enemies because of having to receive all these attacks and stuff, I think. Could be good. But regardless, even if it's one enemy, let's say. Okay, well, let's go with the example of Super Battle Road. So there's multiple enemies. You put this guy in slot 3. Let's say he's getting attacked by 3 different enemies. Whichever enemy is attacking him first, that's the enemy that you're going to want to attack with his super attack. That way you can get the 30% damage reduction from that character, and then he'll start building up stats by getting hit by that character, and then he'll have more stats built up for the 2nd and 3rd and 4th, whatever other characters end up attacking him, so he'll have more defense to go in with. So yeah, this could be very, very good. Or, you know, if he's getting attacked by a physical unit, then you can choose to target them to get the 30% damage reduction on that character specifically, just to make sure you don't die by a type disadvantage super or something, and then everyone else can just hit him normally. And he can build up the stats that way. So yeah, that is very, very good. If we come down here to his super attack effect and also factor in that he has a great attack and defense raise for 1 turn, that is another huge bonus to him, right? Because he's already looking pretty decent defensively here, and then he's getting another 50% defense after he super attacks. So very, very good. This guy definitely has a spot on some teams. His links are where it starts to fall apart a little bit, just because he's a Dragon Ball character, so he has all the Dragon Ball links, unfortunately. I wish that they would stray away a little bit more and do, like, some Namekian links and stuff would be very, very nice, just so that he would link up with a lot of his other Namekian counterparts, but I think he doesn't really link amazingly. Like, yeah, where's Orange Piccolo at, right? Where's Int Demon King Piccolo, or Int Piccolo Jr. and stuff, right? Like, some of the strongest Piccolos that we have in the game, or Namekians that we have in the game, STR Piccolo, just don't link up with this guy well at all. As you can see, it's all like the Dragon Ball Demon King Piccolos that have these links. So that is a little bit of an L on his links, unfortunately. But that being said, he does make up for it with his categories, because he's got a lot of categories that need help here, right? Sworn enemies, which is huge because he is a sworn enemy support. And then there's also, you know, worldwide chaos, storied figures, resurrected warriors, even Dragon Ball Saga you could consider. So yeah, some of these characters or categories definitely need a lot of help, and he can definitely, you know, do a lot there. The really quick, out of curiosity, I did want to open up the sworn enemies category here, just to take a look and see, based on his teams. So sworn enemies is going to be a lot of Boo cards. So you're going to see a lot of these Boo cards on Worldwide Chaos as well. So if you're doing a Worldwide Chaos team, then he could be a good support there as well, for a lot of these. And then Resurrected Warriors as well. There's going to be some of these Frieza and Boo cards on Resurrected Warriors, and then Terrifying Conquerors. You're going to have a lot of the Frieza cards as well. So yeah, it looks like most of the teams that you're going to want to run this guy on, there's going to be other Sworn Enemy cards around you that you're going to be able to get those boosts off for. So that is really, really good stuff. I am definitely the most excited to try this guy out of all of the EZAs for sure. Okay, so that is the kits for all of the new cards, the new EZAs that are coming. I would definitely say that compared to like the first batch of EZAs that we got, you know, with the AGL Bardock and the Tech Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and stuff, you know, compared to that, and then compared to what comes in the next World Tournament, what we've seen from what just released on JP, I would say that these three EZAs right here are actually pretty lackluster. These three are probably, if we were to line up all of the World Tournament EZAs, I honestly might say, well, definitely these two are probably the worst. And then this guy's a little bit better for sure, right? It's just there's a bit of RNG in his kit, so. But this guy is one of the best for sure. Top 2, top 3 maybe. So yeah, you know, that being considered, maybe you won't have to go super hard in this World Tournament to try and get enough medals to awaken all of these guys, but I would definitely try and make sure you get enough medals to get at least 2 of these characters so that you can get these 2 guys done. That being said, how are you going to need to place in order to earn the medals that you need? So let's go ahead and take a look at the ranking rewards and how this is going to work out. So, on JP, they actually have updated this with their most recent World Tournament, so these rewards are going to be looking a little better, but I do not believe that that's going to be coming to Global yet. We're probably going to have to wait until the next World Tournament to see that live, so unfortunately, we're still stuck with the really, really restricted EZA medals. You're going to need to place top 10 in order to get enough medals to EZA 4 characters and get all of these guys done, and, you know, below that, if you are 11th, all the way down to 2000th place, then you will be able to get 3 characters done. This is probably where I plan to place this World Tournament. Getting top 10 is going to be ridiculously impossible as usual, and for something that we're going to talk about coming up in a second, top 10 is going to be pretty much unattainable this World Tournament. And we'll get more into that in a second. But yeah, so if you get top 2,000, then you'll be able to get 3 characters. And then as long as you are top 100,000, you should be able to get 2 characters. And then, you know, below, anything below that, you're only going to be getting 1 character, right? So that's where all the thresholds lie, just so that you know. Keep in mind that with the Hercule Satan signatures, that we can spend in the Baba Shop, it's still going to be EZA Piccolo there for now, for the next, few World Tournaments. So you're going to be able to earn, if you've already EZA'd Piccolo, you're going to be able to just stock up on all your Satan signatures, and pick up some extra copies of these. So over the next few World Tournaments, we might be able to accumulate enough additional copies of these to catch up on some of those EZAs that we haven't gotten yet. So not to fear. And then, also, as I mentioned, coming up on future World Tournaments, these are going to shift around a little bit. And it actually, they change it up where the top 2,000 actually will be able to earn, 4 EZA characters worth of medals. So that will be very, very good to look forward to. But yeah, so I think for me, right now on this World Tournament, I'm probably going to aim for top 1,000 so that I can get potential orbs. Top 1,000 will be like the minimum. I do want to get some type of potential orbs at all, but I am also moving this weekend, so I am going to be a little bit busy. I will not be able to just sit down and grind the World Tournament the whole time. Also, the Tanabata Celebration just released on JP, so there's going to be a lot of fun stuff going on there as well. So I might be playing both versions at the same time and just kind of slowing myself down. But yeah, this is the goal, is to get top 1,000. If I can place higher than that, great. If I do place any lower than that, the very, very minimum is top 2,000, because I need to make sure to get 3 units worth of EZA medals for sure. Okay, so the very last thing that I wanted to address and talk about is this guy, Piccolo Jr. Giant Form. So he is going to make a huge difference for World Tournament. I do plan to make some more, at least one more video on this World Tournament once it goes live, so we can actually do some runs with some of these new units that have come out. There's, a few different new AoE units that have come out, so I'll definitely be, this is going to be, one of the main units that I'm running in this World Tournament. So we'll do a little guide on how to use this guy effectively. But yeah, so taking a look at his kit here, pretty much none of this matters. The only thing that matters here is his active skill. So this can be activated. The part we're focusing on is when you're facing 2 or more enemies. You massively raise attack temporarily and cause mega colossal damage to all enemies. So basically, because in World Tournament, you're always facing 2 or more enemies when you load in, as soon as you load into the fight, this guy's going to have his active skill available, and you will be able to launch it immediately and kill all the enemies. For the most part, you should be able to kill all the enemies, unless you're facing off against, like in the finals, if you're facing off against an EZA Prime Battle Krillin, or a Dragon Ball Super Broly, or something like that, like one of those really, really tanky physical cards, then there's a possibility that the enemy will live. Well, that's when the secondary portion of his active skill comes in, right? Disables an action of every enemy once within the turn. So basically, any enemy that you do not KO with his active skill is going to be ghost ushered for that turn, effectively. So, and it only disables enemy action once, but the way that World Tournament works is that a character can't actually attack more than once per turn. So, as far as like the enemies can't attack you more than once per turn. So, yeah, basically, if you don't kill, it's fine. You just get a free Ghost Usher, and then you can just play the turn out normally and have this guy, run a super attack or two to finish off the phase, or you could throw an AoE unit in slot 1 and just have them, clean up the rest of the units, however you want to do it, right? So this guy is going to make a huge difference for World Tournament because he is the new fastest World Tournament card. Because previously with the STR Piccolo that we had, who is conveniently not one of the best link partners for him. How am I going to find this guy? Namekians. This will be the easiest way. So yeah, previously this guy was the best World Tournament, like in the last World Tournament, right? Because his AoE animation runs so quickly, and he has the guaranteed critical hits when you're facing off against 2 or more enemies. So he is actually guaranteed to kill every single enemy all the time, no matter what. Period. If you have him rainbowed in Link level 10 and everything, right? So yeah, this guy was amazing, and he's still very, very good, but now he is actually outmatched in speed by this guy, because, while it does, the AoE animation itself does take a little bit longer for this guy, you could just turn on the active skill skip, so you can skip the entire animation, and then it ends up being a little bit quicker than Piccolo's. And also, you don't have to select key spheres, because that's another thing with this Piccolo, is that you had to select key spheres first, throughout the phase, and then he would attack at the beginning. So, and you also weren't, you also weren't guaranteed to like not take any damage, because you had to like let the turn play out normally. So if you were getting attacked in the first slot before attacking, then you would also have to take time to use an item and go use your Ghost Usher, or your Baba or whatever, whatever item you were going to choose to use that turn. So with the with this Piccolo Jr. here, you won't have to do that. So he's going to be saving you items, saving you time, lots of stuff. What that means, though, is that because the World Tournament lasts the exact same amount of time that it normally does, what this indicates is that the top score for, like, basically whoever gets first place, let's say it's Tripsy DBZ, because he always gets first place, right? I think his score last time was something upwards of, like, 800 million points. We're probably going to be getting even higher than that now, closing in on like 900 million and stuff, right? Because this is just even quicker, which means you're going to need to do even more runs to rank highly in the World Tournament than you previously would have, which means you're just going to need to spend more and more stamina, essentially spending more stones or more of your meat on the game. And I think that this is just going to make an even bigger gap between the people that grind really hard and the people that don't grind. And I guess the biggest question is, where does that line actually fall as far as, these different thresholds, right? So we already know that, like, the top 10 go absolutely insane and they are uncatchable. So it's safe to assume that you're just not going to be able to get top 10, right? As far as like the top 100, top 500, I think that's where we're going to start to see the change. So if you're one of those players that typically scores between top 1 and 500, like me, and then I think this is probably the threshold where, because anything above that, like I said, has already been ridiculous all the time anyway. But I think now that it's just gotten a little bit easier for people to grind this, we're going to start seeing more competitive, gameplay in these ranks right here, of, kind of 100 to 500 and down into like 1,000. And then I think once you get below 1,000, it's probably going to be the same as it always is. Probably not too much difference in competitiveness, because I think people that are placing in the top, like below 1,000, are only getting, like 300 million points for the world tournament and stuff, which is not nearly as intense of a grind as people up here with like the 500 million plus and stuff, right? So yeah, if you are one of the players in this threshold that typically scores in this range, honestly, I guess it's like 500th and above. Expect that this world tournament is going to be much more competitive. You're going to have to, try a lot harder. So the one last little bit that I wanted to point out here is that, we talked about basically running a turn with this guy being the unit that you're depending on, doing all the attacks. Because it takes a little bit longer to go through that turn, like basically once you finish selecting all your key spheres and you're just waiting through the animation phase, you can do a little bit more with your time. If you're watching a YouTube video, if you're, if you're like doing whatever else you're doing at the same time, because oftentimes, people grind World Tournament while doing other things with their life. I know, shocker. Then you have a few more seconds to be able to get something done before you just have a KO screen sitting there waiting for you to continue, right? Whereas with this Int Demon King Piccolo, it's going to happen so quickly, you pretty much cannot divert your attention from the game. You have to sit there and play the game constantly. But the caveat, the counterpart to that is that because you're just launching an active skill and you don't have to worry about taking hits or receiving damage or using items or whatever, you can actually kind of turn off your brain. So while your fingers have to be more active from this world tournament on using this guy, your brain gets to be less active in the world tournament, which is very, very nice. That is a huge bonus. And if at some point they were to add an auto for the map, where you could just auto the map and let the fights come as they come, then you could turn off even more of your brain, and you really wouldn't have to pay attention to the world tournament, and it would feel a lot closer to what it feels like to like auto link level and stuff. So I really, really do hope that they add an auto map button, or change the map in some way. I always said that it would make more sense if they just made the map a straight line and put all the units, like in the preliminary, you'd have 4 units on a straight line, so it'd be a lot easier to interact with the enemies that you need to interact with. And then they should also code it where they don't choose to fight each other. They should just come for you. That would make a lot of sense. And then once you're on all the other phases where it's a one-on-one fight, you just have one singular line, so you never have to try and chase them around this labyrinth and whatever, and you could still reap the same benefits of being able to pick up items on the map and stuff. So hopefully we see an update for that kind of thing coming soon. So I think that is pretty much everything that I have for you guys for this world tournament. Lots of good stuff coming. So yeah, look forward to, my next world tournament video, probably coming tomorrow, where we talk about, or where we actually show off some runs using the Piccolo Jr. and stuff. And just kind of testing out some different strategies and seeing what we maybe think is the most optimal. So I hope you guys found this informational, or at least entertaining. And yeah, I think that's everything I got for you. So that is going to do it for this one. I will catch you guys next time. Peace.